A friend of mine was actually the one who told me that this was possible at all. And I was like, bro, this is crazy. All right. So she said that people were removing the filters from the hashtag silhouette challenge. And she was pretty upset. Of course, I'm not upset. I'm not upset at all because, we told you guys. It's come to this where, like we discussed in our live stream last night, it's really like men, women, trans people, and other spectrums of the LGBT. It's like all of us are constantly fighting each other. I won't even get into it racially. This is what we were talking about, guys. So I was like, hey, why are normal everyday people posting porn? Like, I was checking these people bios. They don't have no OnlyFans. I check a lot of their posts. I don't see no OnlyFans posts. These people literally just posted free nudes. Like, I'm not talking about the girls who did it with underwear or clothes on, but people who were obviously they're naked or having sex during the video. And for a long time we were saying that, of course, I'm not gonna deny that there are people who, just completely out of the wall. They trying to control people and stop them from expressing themselves. There are people like that, hyper conservative people. But a lot of people are just like, hey, respect yourself on the internet. You have autonomy of yourself, so yeah, use it responsibly, right? But we live in an age whereby now, everyone's just like, or if she does this, or if he does this, you can't say anything because you can't put a tag, you can't put a chain on someone's sexuality. Even when it comes to religious matters, I came to a conclusion a long time ago that a lot of the things that are systematically in place were put in place for a reason. Now, this reason could lead to a consequence that affects the bottom line of all humanity, or it could just be something that, hey, it's really good practical wisdom. One of which is, protecting yourself online and choosing what you post. During my entire years at school, they're like, think before you post, because a lot of us in school, the nudes just went viral across the country. You understand me? And I know this might sound very sickening to you because it is sickening. You have stuff like CP just going everywhere. And I live in a really small community. Okay, and in order to combat this, we're like, hey, conduct yourself accordingly. So my question is that, am I gonna feel bad for grown-ass men and women who put themselves online doing these sorts of things, and when perverted people come with their high-tech whatever to expose them, am I gonna feel bad for them? No, I'm not gonna feel bad for them. Because you don't think that I feel tempted to post myself or write story all the time, bro? I just be looking at myself in the mirror and I'd be like, damn, I really want to flex this, okay? And I know that might sound very juvenile and stupid, but that's just exactly what it is. And it's because that I recognize that, it's juvenile and stupid. That's why those things stay in my eyes only on Snapchat and not on my public story, okay? You people are fucking bumbling buffoons. Not only, and I'm a black man, by the way, so keep that in mind when you hear me say what I'm about to say. The only race of people who I see doing this especially are black people. And the gender specifically, the 90+% of people who I see doing it are women. So black women are putting themselves out there, ruining their futures for employment, getting a good partner, all of these things. And it's like, I see couples just out there just smashing, dog. And it's like, suppose you don't work out and you want to find a husband and those videos are circulating on the internet. I'm tired of people saying that men are insecure just because they don't want to date someone who they perceive to be a whore. Because it's like, at the end of the day, like I said earlier, there are so many reasons behind these principles, and for a long time we just blindly followed them. But now, in the age of technology and science, we know exactly how the human anatomy works, as well as the human psychology, and we learn how damaging these things are. So now that people actually have the facts, you have a huge movement of people, both men and women, who are like, maybe we should step away from this. Maybe we should conduct ourselves accordingly and not post ourselves online in such a provocative manner. Thankfully, it's the majority of the population. But don't get me wrong, it was a few thousand people doing this, but of course it wasn't like the millions and millions of black women on the planet today. But obviously, it's still like a lot of people encouraging it. It's the same thing with the Busted Down challenge. And a lot of women are like, oh, don't objectify us, don't put a tag on us, all of this. but you're promoting it online. So then the thing is that, oh, okay, so it's not that objectifying women is wrong, it's that women must be objectified when they want to be objectified. But then, how do you necessarily switch it on and off? The world is a really shitty place, and we all have to accept that. I starting to say that more and more in every video these days. So it's when you internalize that belief and you realize that every time I post, I put myself at risk. Like for instance, if my identity was public, right? There's a decent chance that if I were to say something bad, that would affect my employment. The same way how it's affected a lot of people who said a lot of racist things, a lot of bigoted things. It affected them. They lost their jobs. And a lot of people who even did OnlyFans and their work found out about it, they were fired, right? So you have obvious consequences to these things. Then there's also the psychological things that surround it. As in, whatever is on the internet stays on the internet. What you give to the world, you can't take back. I was taught that from a really young age. So you're ruining your future relationships, future employment, not to mention the psychological trauma of realizing, oh my God, what did I do? And a lot of people are doing this for the simple fact that they just want validation and attention. They want people online to tell them that, oh my God, you're so sexy and whatnot. And hey, to a certain extent, there's nothing wrong with this. But how far are you willing to go? You know, I personally post shirtless pics all the time. Especially in my more fit days when I was rippling. I was like, damn, I'm sexy. You know what I mean? And I post that up and I'd get some girls in my DMs or whatever, you know, and I would, you know, make my move and everything. And that was how I bait and switch. You understand me? But I still, you know, carried myself with a certain caliber of respect. Because I could have went fully nude and as soon as they looked down, they would have been like, damn. You understand me? And then I probably could have got even more chicks. So it goes both ways. Both men and women, all of them could, you know, benefit from, you know, pushing your image out there, pushing that about you. But it's specifically special in the instance of women because the world perceived their image as a product almost, because men are highly visual people. So that's why sex sells, right? That's why beautiful women sells. That's why you don't have ugly or unaesthetic, I should say, models, because there's beauty in everything. So how do I make that stunning, appealing, you know, give it that edge, you understand me, that essence that really, you know, exudes sensuality. So there's nothing wrong with that inherently, but you have to know how far to go. That's all I'm saying. You have to have a personal responsibility and accountability within yourself to know that perhaps doing this is not the best course of action for my future, nor the best course of action for the people around me who would be affiliated with me, who I'm then gonna go to and complain about my life. I honestly don't give a single fuck what you do with your body, okay? That's not my business. That's not my interest. I'ma just sit small until my name call and mind the business that pays me, okay? But in the meantime, if I could give a little bit of advice, I'm gonna tell you to stop being a fucking bumbling buffoon. Stop being an idiot. Please. God damn, you know how much black women message me and they're like, oh my God, they're so disgusted about how these people are carrying on the internet, about how they're carrying themselves, you know, degrading themselves. But I guess all of that is subjective. Ultimately, if people are fine with, you know, all of the consequences, I say so be it. Do you, boo-boo? You understand me? That has nothing to do with me. But in the meantime, I'm gonna just keep my head down and stick with the ladies that I appreciate. I know that all my friends and all of the hundreds or perhaps even thousands of men that I know are gonna stick to, as well as women, as well as companies. So it's literally just gonna be you. If you choose to do something like this, it's just gonna be you by yourself. No job, no employment, or perhaps you may have all of those things and retain them, but it's gonna put a lot of strain on you, psychologically and in your everyday interactions with society. So I hope you proceed with caution and heed my advice, okay? It's been Abysmal Entertainment. Be sure to dislike the video and enjoy your weekend. Signing out.